let's do this Klobuchar thing. This is pretty funny. We don't do a lot of coverage of Amy Klobuchar's candidacy, in part because there's 25 people out there running now, I think, for the office. In part because we don't think that she's going to be a major factor in this race.
The Klobuchar factor.
Yeah, I would say the Klobuchar factor is like basically nil. And I mean, maybe we're wrong. There are a lot of people who are down, I'm sure, who have less a share. We don't talk about them either. We'll talk about the Betos and the Kamalas and the
maybe people just don't know about her tax advantage savings accounts.
Maybe they don't know about her tax advantage savings accounts because that doesn't fit on a poster very well. But things like, I don't know, Amy for America. I guess it's AA. I don't even know that people like. I wouldn't even.
It's AM.
Yeah, but this could be the only time that we actually even discuss her on the show in any meaningful way. Also, I don't like her politics, particularly. I mean, they're okay. They're better than a Republicans. But I'm saying in the context of the Democratic primary, she's just not offering anything that I find terribly compelling. Tax advantage savings accounts are not terribly relevant for the vast majority of Americans who can't save in the first place. What was that figure? Like half of Americans couldn't get $400 in an emergency?
Yeah, something like that. It's pretty bad.
Pretty bad. And that's from the Fed, ladies and gentlemen. That's a Fed study. Meanwhile, aside from that, this type of stuff is very weird to me as well. Like, there's a couple of things about this statement that I find bizarre. Like, first of all, why do you need John McCain to argue that Donald Trump is bad? In addition to the fact John McCain's dead. But why do you need John McCain to argue that Trump is bad? It seems to me it's a very weird thing to appeal to John McCain as the voice of reason in this context.
It's a very senator mindset.
Yes, it really is. But then listen to some of this, which I find sort of hilarious.
The arc that we are on did not just start today. It didn't just start with the 2020 debates. No. The arc that we are on, this arc of justice, started that day after that dark inauguration. That day when I sat on that...
Pause it for 1 second. I'm sorry to stop it so quickly, but when I first heard this, I thought, like, oh, good for her. She realized that the problems didn't start today. This has been a problem that's been growing for decades. And when she talks about the arc of justice, I'm thinking like, wow, maybe she's going back 200 years, 250 years. Maybe she's going back, 40 years. It's going to be interesting when we start. No, the arc of justice apparently is not that archy. It's not that long. It's just about, 24 months, the arc of justice. But all right, so go back a little bit.
It starts after Trump won the election.
Yeah, that's when justice had to start. Maybe that was part of the problem with the 2016 election, is that the arc of justice was not kicking in yet.
Just start today. It didn't just start with the 2020 debates. No. The arc that we are on, this arc of justice, started that day after that dark inauguration. That day when I sat on that stage between Bernie and John McCain. And John McCain kept reciting to me names of dictators during that speech because he knew more than any of us what we were facing as a nation. He understood it. He knew because he knew this man more than any of us did.
Well, how did he know? How did John McCain know Donald Trump so well? That seems weird, but all that just seems super weird to me.
Maybe it's military body language training.
He picked Sarah Palin to be his running mate. Jesus Christ.
Yes. Maybe that's why he had such great insight into Donald Trump. Well, so of course, Klobuchar is going to get some criticism of this because it's just so silly. But
Keep my dad's name out of your mouth, okay?
Well, here is actually that in fact did happen. This criticism did not just come from people who were sort of like felt it was a little bit of pablum. It was also Meghan McCain, who I feel like is going through some type of low-grade breakdown.
Or
Always.
maybe a higher grade breakdown.
It could be a higher grade, and I'm not rooting on anybody having a breakdown. But Meghan McCain took to Twitter and said, on behalf of the entire McCain family, Amy Klobuchar, please be respectful to all of us and leave my father's legacy and memory out of presidential politics, which is, it's pretty stunning. He ran for president. His dad, I don't remember her ever speaking up like this when the millions of times that people have cited what Trump said about McCain. Not just Trump, but I'm saying everybody who's cited. It just seems like a very weird hill to die on. I don't know what the fight is about there, but apparently maybe Meghan McCain does not like Amy Klobuchar, or I don't know what. Very strange thing for her to come out at that time. And
isn't she supposed to be one of those like moderate Democrats who can reach across the aisle and work with all the moderate Republicans that Meghan McCain likes so much?
Yeah.
You hate to see the center break down like this.
It really is a shame. The center is not holding. The center is not holding.